We are in lesson 4.8. Two more sections to go. Page number 321. The name of this section is called the rectangular coordinate system. Now, if you remember a while back, I was talking about linear equations, and I put an equation on the board and said the reason it's called a linear equation is because when you draw a picture of it, the picture is a straight line. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to start looking at drawing pictures a little bit. And what we do is we don't just draw the picture of an equation on the board. We have some directions to help kind of map out where the picture of the equation is going to go and how we can determine where different parts of it go. And what we're going to do is we're going to call the graph a rectangular coordinate system. And you may have seen this before, may have been a lot of years. It's also called the Cartesian plane because a guy named René Descartes came up with the idea. But I usually call it either the coordinate system, or I may call it the XY axis. So anything along that line, Cartesian plane, the rectangular coordinate system, or the XY axis, same thing. I will call it the XY axis usually just because it's easier and not so tongue-twisting to say. But the way this works, we've got a name for a lot of things on here, so you might want to write this stuff down. This line right here, which is just a number line, is called X, the X-axis. It's the X line, it's the horizontal line. This one up here is the Y. So we've got an X and we have a Y. They come together at a point called the origin, O-R-I-G-I-N, and we have a name for each of these four areas here. These four areas are called quadrants, Q-U-A-D-R-A-N-T-S, quadrants, and there's four of them. And they're labeled with Roman numerals. This is the first one. This is the second one, counterclockwise. This is the third one. And this is the fourth one. Get familiar with what the coordinate plane looks like. You will be expected to know this bit of information for the rest of your math life. Anytime you use math from now on, this is part of it. Whether you go all the way through calculus or whether you stop at elementary algebra, you will have to know what the coordinate system looks like here. So what we're doing here with all of this is we're trying to determine where certain points show up on a graph so that we can draw pictures. So let me erase some of this stuff here. Alright, and one of the things we do is we make a number line out of each one of these lines. So this, I said, was the origin, so that's the 0. That's where you always start at a number line. And then we go this direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, etc. And these are all positive numbers. Just like on a regular number line, when we go to the left of the 0, we have the numbers here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but because we're going to the left of 0, it's the negative number line. We do the same thing with the y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you go up, you're going in a positive direction. When you go down, you're going in a negative direction. Okay. So this helps me to determine where I'm going to draw my line or draw my picture of an equation. And we're not going to get into that in this lesson. We're just going to get you familiar with how to use this graph. So at the bottom of page 322, let's get started here. Example 1. They give me some ordered pairs. Remember in the last lesson we did this? X is 2, Y is 3. Well, I'm going to give you a bunch of them here. And what they're asking you to do is plot these. Plot means find the place on the graph where those points exist. Because each one of these, even though this is an X and this is a Y, an answer to an equation, they're also points on this picture. So if this says 2, 3, it says X is 2, Y is 3. Let me put the X up here and the Y here just to remind you. Okay, the X is 2, the Y is 3. So we always start at the origin. Let me get a different color here as we're going through this. We always start at the origin, and this says that we are at 2 on the number line. 1, 2. And it says we're also on 3 on the y number line. So we're going to go up 3 because it's a positive 3. 1, 2, 3. So that point right there is 0.23. At 2 on the number line and 3 on the y number line. Okay? Then we look at this. Negative 2, 3. Start here again, but this time we go negative 2 on the x line, or x coordinate, and we go up 3. 1, 2, 3, because 3 is positive. So that's that point. This says negative 2, negative 3. So again, we go left, 1, 2, but instead of going up 3, we go down 3. So we end up at negative 3. And to negative 3, we go to the right, positive 2, then down 1, 2, 3, and we end up here. So I just plotted all 4 of these points on the number line. And that's all there is to it. The biggest thing that you're going to run into is a lot of times you'll use the first number and go up or down, and the second number and go left or right. You remember that the first number is x, and the second number is y. It's going to save you a lot of wrong answers. Okay, so if we give you some points on the number line and ask you to name them, let's look at that for a minute. Let's get rid of those. Let's put a point right here. And if I say name that, you're first of all going to make your little ordered pair here. First number is your x. So you always start at the origin and find out how far you had to go over here to get straight below that point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had to go over 6. So that's my first number. Okay, and then it says, well, then I have to look and see where I went from there. Well, I went up. How far up did I go? Well, it looks like 1. Okay, so that is the plot of this point here. One of the ways you can look at it is, what is the directions I have to go to get from here to here? Well, I had to go over 6 and up 1. Remember, you always have to go over, left or right, before you go up or down. Always. Never go up or down first. Left or right first, then up or down. If I have a point right here, well, let me draw my little ordered pair thing. Again, over 1, 2, and then I went down 1, 2, 3. So I went down 3. And because I went down, I went in a negative direction. We'll put a negative sign there. If I have a point here, well, again, left or right, 1, 2. And then I went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's how you plot points. Not too difficult to do that. One of the things that we're going to be doing is we're going to be connecting these points with straight lines. So one of the things that they'll do is they will give you points like 1, 2, and then they'll give you another point, 3, 4, and ask you to plot those. 1, 2, and 3 over 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and draw a straight line through them. Then they're going to ask you some questions like A, in example 5 on page 324. They're asking if does the graph of 2, 3 lie on this line? So if we were to plot that point, is it on this line that we drew? Well, let's see. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yep, it looks like it is. Does the graph negative 3, negative 5 lie on that line? Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does that point lie on the line? No, it does not. So that does not lie on the line. That does lie on the line. That's about it for that lesson. Not too bad. So we'll just forget going over the problem set since they're exactly like I just did. And we'll head to 4.9 in the next lesson.